So if you've been playing Cookie Run, then you have been noticing that Dev Sisters have been promoting a new upcoming game called Cookie Run Tower of Adventures. Currently, pre-registrations are still open for anyone who's interested in playing the game. Personally for me, when I found out that pre-registrations were open, I immediately darted to the website and pre-registered as fast as you can ever imagine me to be. I basically speedrun that shit. All jokes aside, I'm actually really excited for this game to come out, and this is coming from someone who's a beta tester for the game. However, I have seen people been very uninterested by this game, especially from the release of Witch's Castle. But if anything, I think this game is better than Witch's Castle. At least the game never made me rage over a damn lantern, or literally wish death upon literal chocolate and fetuses. Well, enough dilly-dally. Now let me explain why I am very excited for the game, Cookie Run Tower of Adventures. Okay, let's start by talking about the plot of this game. Spoilers ahead. So basically, there is this pancake tower and it's in danger because of the oven in it. Oh no, how shocking. The only way to save the tower is by a shining heart of a brave cookie. You get 0 points if you guess this was Ginger Brave. Eventually, we are told that the reason why the oven is such a threat to the tower is because a witch put something evil in it. This was explained to us by Bustle Cookie. Oh yeah, I should probably mention this. Gingerbread and Strawberry Cookie are nowhere to be seen in the game. Even though Wizard is a playable character, he does not make an appearance in the story. Instead, we have Angel, Cherry, and Muscle Cookie joining us on this journey. And also Twisted Donut, but we'll talk more about him later. I'm pretty mixed about this decision. On one hand, it really does suck not seeing our usual trio of cookies going on magical adventures, but on the other hand, it's nice to see other cookies get the spotlight, especially those who need development. When the game begins, you're popped into your usual tutorial where you learn how to dash, attack, and use your skill. You also meet this character named Sugar Star. You basically follow them, and eventually they get kidnapped by a boss named Frank the Fiery Chef. Why is he called Frank? You couldn't just call them the Fiery Chef. No, we must name it Frank the Fiery Chef. Boss battle ensues, and this is the part where we learn about our ultimate ability. Do keep in mind that when you first get a cookie, you don't get the ultimate ability. Instead, you have to promote it in order to unlock it. In the beta, it was originally 2 stars in order to unlock it, but they changed it to 1 star. I'll talk more about that later in the video. After the boss battle, we get the plot, and then the Sugar Star turned into a portal, in which Ginger Brave jumps into it, only to be teleported to the Jolly Jelly Forest. And that's where we meet Twisted Donut, who is very worried. Apparently, there is no start goal for his train to run. We decide to help, complete our first level, and the title rolls. There's a lot more stuff that happens, but the most important one is Cherry joining the team, which I'm now realizing that that's gonna be a bit different, given that we're gonna have 3 cookies to play instead of 2. Again, more on that later. And also our goal now focusing on finding the Guardian cookies that know where the oven is. What are the Guardian cookies, I hear you say? Well, actually I don't know, but I do have a theory. Remember that animated cutscene that basically told us the plot? For a brief moment before the oven is shown, you see this image. 6 symbols. At first, I did not know what this meant. In fact, I asked my friends about it, and they said this is likely meant to represent the legendaries. I agree with this idea at first, especially with this symbol, the moon with the star. This symbol is usually associated with the City of Wizards. And who else is associated with the City of Wizards? Moonlight Cookie. And also these guys, but Moonlight's more important. I'm sorry, my children. Maybe next time. It doesn't help with the fact that the Glass Labyrinth, aka the Labyrinth of Memorance, is in this game, and that's associated with the City of Wizards. I mean, they aren't even trying to hide it! This flower clearly looks like Sugar Glass Cookie right here. Wait, does that mean Sugar Glass might be added? Oh my god, imagine if Sugar Glass gets into Tower of Adventures before Kingdom. Oh my god, so many Kingdom players would be pissed. Okay, back on track. For a second, I was under the impression that these symbols likely represented the legendaries. These legendaries being the Guardian cookies that they're looking for. However, after looking back at the game, I realized that this was wrong. In fact, this was meant to represent the 6 elements of the game. Those elements being Earth, Fire, Wind, Water, Light, and Dark. or darkness. I'm not sure which one. So now my theory has changed that the Guardian cookies are meant to represent one of the 6 elements. Although my legendary theory can still apply to this. For one, the legendaries are guardians of Earthbred, specifically the elemental guardians of Earthbred. So it wouldn't be a far-fetched idea. Sea Fairy could represent the water element, Wind Archer with the wind element, Fire Spirit with the fire element, Moonlight with the darkness element, leaving us only with 2 other elements. I know there's gonna be some people saying that Millennial Tree would be the earth element, but personally I do not see it. Millennial Tree is more associated with plants than earth. And I know there's gonna be some people mentioning Stormbringer, and well, it wouldn't be a far-fetched idea to assume that this might be Stormbringer, especially since we have a certain lightning cookie that has the light element, who I will talk about later, and trust me, he is a doozy. However, do keep in mind that this game has been in production way before Stormbreaker was ever released, so I highly doubt it could be her. Okay, I had enough with the plot. How about we talk about the animation instead? You guys, it's 3D! It's 3D! Look at it! If it isn't obvious enough, the game is 3D. Personally, I think it's pretty solid. The backgrounds are nice, and most of the characters are translated well into 3D. Do keep in mind, this isn't the first time Cookie Run has used 3D models. However, for the most part, almost all the assets in the game are usually drawn. For Oven Break, it's frame-by-frame animation, and Kingdom, it's rigging and tweening. This also applies to Witch's Castle. Personally, I think the 3D models is more efficient than recreating the sprites for every cookie in Kingdom and Oven Break, especially if you have seen the sprite sheets for it. Oh my god, how does this work? For the 3D models, all you just need is a simple 3D model. And from there, all you gotta do is rig the model and that's it. That reminds me, all the sprites in the game are 3D, and all you need to do to make a new sprite is just create a new facial expression, which is hand-drawn by the way, and slap that on the 3D model. And you have to pose the thing, that's important too. It is way more easier than drawing a sprite sheet for a character. However, do keep in mind that 3D modeling does have its own flaws, especially when it comes to clipping. However, I will excuse it given that this is the first mainline Cookie Run game that is 3D. Okay, enough with the animation. How about we talk about the actual gameplay itself? So Tower of Adventures is a 3D action game where you go into an environment, attack enemies, solve puzzles, and complete challenges. During the beta, there were 4 game modes that were shown, those being the Story Mode, Raid Mode, Glass Labyrinth, and Champion Raid. Story Mode is pretty self-explanatory. You complete levels and progress the tower. You can either go solo, or you can drag your unwilling friend into this game, which is exactly what I'm doing when this game releases. In the betas, you were only allowed to bring 2 cookies in each level, but now they changed it where you can bring up to 3 cookies in each level. Finally, I can bring these 3 cookies into a little adventure. Each level has a goal for you to complete, and if you complete the goal, you get the star coal. And my dumbass being a massive completionist, you know damn well I'm gonna be 3-starring every level before moving on to the next. In each level, there are jelly bears for you to collect and hidden treasure to find. There is also a shop you can use to buy items with the jelly bears you collected. Regardless of what you choose to purchase, if you manage to collect all the jelly bears in each level of the tower, then you're able to purchase everything. In raid mode, your main objective is to defeat the boss. Simple as that. You can play up to 4 players, but if there's no one around, you can play by yourself. There are 4 difficulties, and with each one has a new mechanic that's added to the boss to make it more difficult. And if you complete the boss, you're able to get rewards. These rewards being the equipment and gear that you're able to collect. In the beta, it's randomized. Regardless of how much effort you put in, the reward is always going to be randomized. I really did not like this, and there's a story that I will tell when we get to a certain cookie, but for now, I'm going to save it for later. Thankfully, this feature will change, and players are incentivized to do their best to receive better rewards. Now, the Glass Labyrinth is a bit of an interesting case because it's the one game mode that has changed drastically. In the beta, you were supposed to complete the challenge under a set time limit. However, it has changed from collecting the highest amount of points you can possibly get. Given this change, my opinion on the Glass Labyrinth is outdated. However, one thing hasn't changed, and that is the elements that are attached to each stage. Before you enter battle, there is a small section where it displays some elements. This basically recommends you to use the cookie of that element. And now Champion's Raid. I don't know much about it actually because I never played it. I don't remember if anyone had access to this, so I'm gonna skip over that. Now that being said, I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Oh yeah, the seasoning dungeons. In the beta, there were 3 dungeons that you had access to. The 3 dungeons are the Hexagon B4s, Hangster's Hideout, and Ascensionite Mines. Each dungeon giving different rewards. Hexagon B4s provides you with potions you can use to level up your cookies, Hangster's Hideout gives you coins, and Ascensionite Mines gives you Ascension Crystals. And I mean all the Ascension Crystal types. All of these dungeons are used to level up your cookies. Literally, just upgrade them to the next level. You know what? I'm tired of these game mechanics. Can we get to the cookies now? Let's be real here. Everyone wants to get to the cookies. Finally we're here. Goddamn, I've been waiting all day to talk about these cookies. Currently, there are only 6 elements, as mentioned before, and there are 4 rules: strike, slash, range, and support. In the first part of the beta, there were 6 cookies playable. In the second part, they added 4 more. I'm going to list out the cookies that you already seen in the franchise and save the newer cookies for later. The cookies that were accessible during the beta was Gingerbrave, Cherry, Angel, Rye, Werewolf, Rockstar, and Chili Pepper. However, during the first beta test, there were a bunch of cookies that had their silhouettes blacked out. This was basically teasing all the cookies that were going to be in the final product. These cookies being Ninja, Muscle, Pistachio, Wizard, Dark Choco, Alchemist, and 3 other cookies we'll get to later, just you wait. There are also 2 other cookies, despite not having been revealed, are planned for Toa, those being Gumball Cookie and Mall Sauce Cookie. For Gumball Cookie, someone was able to dig up some art for him in the game, and for Mall Sauce, she was accidentally put in a promotional video advertising it in the Google Play Store. And I'm not going to lie, it's pretty funny. There is a lot to say, so I'm gonna make this quick. One of my points that I added was the rarity change with Cherry Cookie and Werewolf Cookie. In case you're unaware, Cherry has been changed from a rare to a common, and Werewolf from epic to rare. So to all the idiots who were bashing Rebel Cookie because he looks like a common / rare, y'all looking real stupid right now. Hell, even in Witch's Castle, Snow Sugar Cookie got their rarity dropped from an epic to a rare. Another thing I want to point out is that Rockstar has a redesign in this. Again, this is like the second time in a row. This time it's a bit more drastic than it is in Kingdom. Instead of wearing the gray coat he's known for, he's now sporting a nice black coat, which, I am not going to lie, looks really nice. And he's also a supporter instead of a healer, which is really sweet. I kind of like the idea of Rockstar, instead of being a fighter, he's actually supporting his friends, and that just brings me free serotonin, and I like it. Another cookie I want to mention is Chili Pepper and her unique dash ability. And I hate it so much, god fucking damn it. You have no idea how many times this dash ability fucked me over. When you dash with Chili, she sets down a knife. This acts as an anchor point. And if you manage to tap it again, you get pulled back to where that anchor point was. It took me way too long to figure out what exactly that knife does, and when I did, oh god, that got me in so much trouble. Especially when I was trying to run away from enemies. Yeah, I really didn't have much fun playing as Chili, I'll be honest. Nor Rye. I'll be honest, there was one cookie out of everyone that I played the most, and I'll talk about him later. Another thing I want to talk about is the cards that you're able to get and the buffs that come with it. Personally, I love the art for them, and oh my god, they're so pretty. The way you obtain these cards is mostly through the gacha. Oh, I forgot to mention that in the English dub, there is rarely any voice acting. For the first part of the update, there are some voice acting, however, there was no English dialogue. But in the second round of beta testing, the cookies did not have voice acting at all. However, in the Korean dub, there is voice acting. I'm not sure if there's going to be any English voice acting in the final product, which personally I kinda hope so because I really do want to know what the newer cookies would sound like. Oh yeah, speaking of the newer cookies, let's talk about them. I'll do you one better, let's talk about them one by one. Ah yes, Twisted Donut. The Silly Billy, the cookie with a petrifying stare, and the 4th miner in the Cookie Run franchise that operates on trains. And before I hear anyone say this, no, Milky Way is not an adult, she is a teenager. I'm just gonna leave this here in case you want to read. However, Twisted Donut Cookie is the unique one of the group, mainly because, well, he's not a train conductor. He is the fucking mechanic. As if that's any safer than driving a damn train. Not to mention it's kind of implying that Twisted Donut was the one who built the train. Twisted Donut will solo all these fuckers. Milky Way just given a train for her job, Stolen Cookie got it from her parents and Tiramisu. Actually, I don't know where Tiramisu got his train, so... I really like Twisted Donut as a character. I like his animation and expressions, they look very nice. I also like his card. There's not much to it, but I thought I'd mention it. Also, I remember when playing Raid mode, there was a Twisted Donut player that joined the party. And, well,
The raids went by so much quicker. They are able to utilize a rare cookie and manage to make the raids go by faster. That's what I like about Toa, because it heavily relies on your ability to play the cookie, rather than it being the fucking meta. I'm looking at you specifically, Kingdom and Oven Break. I'll be honest, I do not have much to say about Twisted Donut. Although I do want to say is that Twisted Donut does sound like a mascot for Toa, kinda like how Witchberry Cookie is kind of the mascot for Witch's Castle. Anyways, let's move on to the next cookie. Out of all the characters that I wish I played more during the beta, I really did wish I played Crushed Pepper more. He looks so cool, and I really like his design and his character. However, Crushed Pepper doesn't seem like my type of character, mainly because he's a melee fighter. I'm more of someone who rather distance themselves away from the enemies than being up close. But oh my god, when I looked into his character more, I really did wish I played him more. Like, literally, Crushed Pepper is the most sweetest guy I've ever seen. 1. When he was baked from the oven, the first thing he did when he opened his eyes was immediately let out a fiery laughter. 2. His animations. Just look at him. He's just vibing. Look how happy he is. 3. When he loses, he's not upset about it. In fact, he laughs it off. Personally, I think Crushed Pepper is the type of character who's just there for a good time. It doesn't matter if he wins or loses, he's just there for fun. I also really like his story. Crushed Pepper originates from the Vermilion Pepper Village, and he is the heir of the village's most ancient and most respected lineage.
Okay, sounds like he's part of some kind of royal family or something, I don't know.
And also, get this, he has the strength to split the ground in half with a single punch. Bro's so strong, what the fuck? And despite his strength, he's also a curious one. Apparently, he lived his entire life in the Vermilion Pepper Village and never adventured outside of the walls. Eventually, he figured out that he can't go outside and explore, and oh my god, is his curiosity peaked. Personally, I really like this characterization for him. I just really hope for 2 things. 1, Dev Sister does not turn him into a massive dick or an absolute dumbass. I don't want to see that for Crushed Pepper. And 2, I don't want the fandom to turn him to a himbo like they do with every other masculine character. I just want him to be kind, curious, and just there for a good time. That's all. Just keep in mind, curiosity does not equal stupidity. Also, I need to talk about his card. Oh my god, I love the art for it. Bro over here enjoying a nice bowl of ramen. And also, get this. The card is literally called the Spice of Life. Perfection. Even though Crushed Pepper isn't the type of character I would like to play, I do want to give him another shot. If I get him early, I'm definitely using him. He's amazing. Also, shout out to the Toa Discord server. Literally everyone in there loves Crushed Pepper. Myself included. Also, one more thing. Crushed Pepper has a ponytail. You have no idea how happy this makes me. How about we talk about the next cookie? I finally get to talk about him now. The moment my eyes laid upon him, I immediately fell in love. He makes me feel some type of way! A type of way I haven't felt since Pasta Meringue and Carol. And if you know how I feel about those two, then you know exactly how I feel about Lemon Zest. All jokes aside, I love him. He is easily one of my favorite characters. He is by far the character I'm the most comfortable with playing. He works with all my sensibilities, attacking enemies from a far range, having an auto attack that's better than Rai, a pretty cool rapid fire ability, and having a skill and ultimate that's very flexible and not strict. When Toa releases, I am definitely getting Lemon Zest as fast as I possibly can. And it isn't just his skill, it's also his character. In his story, he is described as laid back. However, his animations, dialogue, and mannerisms speaks volumes. He seems very confident and even smug. I mean, just look at him. Can you tell? I am weeping! This man has me on a chokehold. Okay, I'll stop. Although I do understand where this confidence comes from. After all, he's regarded as the most elite knight in the Citrus Order. What is the Citrus Order, I hear you say? Well, the Citrus Order is owned by the esteemed Lemon family, and its main mission is to protect the tower from harm's way. I really do like the idea of the Citrus Order, although I don't understand why he's called a knight when he's an archer. Maybe this is the same for other roles. They're all just labeled as knights. Okay, I can fuck with this. Also, get this. Despite Lemon Zest being the most elite knight in the Citrus Order, that is not enough for his older brother, the captain of the Citrus Order. Lemon Zest has a brother. You have no idea how much potential this one idea has. Think of all the angst that comes from this idea alone. Oh my god, that is some juicy potential right here. To be fair, we don't know how Lemon Zest feels about this. He could go 2 ways. 1, he is desperate for his brother's approval, or 2, he doesn't give a shit.
Personally, I think it would be fun if we combine the two ideas. At first, Lemon Zest is desperately trying to prove to his brother, causing him to be mentally depressed, but then eventually realizing he doesn't need his brother's approval and is like, fuck you, I'm doing things my own way. Honestly, I would really love that. I also really like his card. There's not much going on with it, save for the other cookies, but for the most part, I just like it. It's pretty lighting. What more can I ask? I love Lemon Zest so much to the point where I literally maxed him out during the beta. Even though there was no point to doing this, especially since every beta tester's data has been wiped out, I still think it was fun. I mean, just look at him. Not to mention, I really like his design. It's pretty cool. His very spiky hair, his hoodie looking very similar to a lemon, his long-ass ponytail. Yes, that is his ponytail. It's very long. Also, I'm not ignoring that leaf. That leaf is very adorable. And his bow. I don't know how it works, but it looks very cool. And also, yes, Lemon Zest is a boy. There were many people who thought Lemon Zest was a girl, and it's very funny. Looks like y'all been bamboozled yet again. It looks like you have not learned your lesson from the first 50 cookies. No, seriously, why are you guys still assuming these cookies' gender? Y'all should have learned by now. Well, I'm not complaining. My pansexual ass very much so adores this man. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it! Fuck it. Smash! Funny story about this cookie. She was the most mysterious cookie prior to her video being released. She was featured in 2 promotional artwork and that was about it. We knew nothing about this character. Eventually, someone was able to dig up some sprite art of her and she looks like this. There were a few things that came to my mind, but the most prominent were daisies, chamomile, some type of metal, specifically gold, bells, because her dress kind of looks like a bell, and emeralds, mainly because of the shade of green. Eventually her video dropped and her name is Chamomile Cookie. Huh, if I had a nickel for every time I guessed a cookie's name based on their appearance right, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Currently, we don't really know much about Chamomile. She's by far the most mysterious character still to this day. There's not much I can say about her than her whole thing is just tea. 1. Chamomile itself is a pretty well-known tea. 2. Remember how I said her dress looks like a bell? Well, it's actually meant to look more like a teacup, which explains its shape. Just turn it upside down. 3. When she uses her ability, she summons a literal fucking teapot. Oh my god, it's literally the most adorable thing I have ever seen. And 4. Her card. She is sitting by a window drinking some tea and also some cake. Even before I saw her card, I had a feeling she would do this kind of thing. I find it pretty endearing. Hey, isn't there other tea cookies out there? Oh yeah, Tea Night Cookie and Earl Grey Cookie. Now we have 3 cookies that are based around tea. Although there's not much I can say about her, I wouldn't be surprised if Chamomile's like the therapist friend. You know, the one who's willing to give you some tea, listen to your struggles, talk to you about your problems. You know, that kind of character. Honestly, I can see Chamomile doing that. Sadly, there's not much I can say about her, so I guess we're moving on to the next character. Out of all the characters, Plantain Cookie is the one I do not know how to feel about. He reminds me a lot of Tiger Lily, and if you know anything about Tiger Lily's controversies, then you will understand why I feel this way. So I rewatched the story, and I will give you a brief summary of what happens in his character so you guys can form your own opinion. Plantain Cookie is part of a tribe called the Banana Tribe full of banana monkeys. However, as of recent, the banana monkeys have been acting very strange. They've been fighting over each other's bananas. Although according to Plantain later on, everyone in the forest is fighting. However, we do not get to see any other enemies besides banana monkeys and banana kongs, or gorillas. I forgot what they're called, I'm sorry. There's only those 2 that we get to fight, and no one else. Plantain Cookie is trying his best to calm down everyone, but so far, no luck. Eventually, he encounters Gingerbrave and friends, Twisted Donut being the most sensible one asks Plantain Cookie how to leave the floor, seeing that they're lost. Plantain Cookie agrees to help if they help him. Plantain Cookie asks them to help calm down the rest of the banana tribe. When nothing seems to work, Plantain Cookie suggests they all go to BananaCon for help. But when they get here, he's acting different as well. Boss battle ensues, and once you defeat him, Plantain seems very upset. However, he pretends that he's alright, when in reality we all know he's not doing well. Even Gingerbrave said so himself. It must be pretty hard for him to see his family change so much. Prior to the boss fight, Plantain Cookie mentions how he's able to understand the banana monkeys and how he sees them as family. However, Gingerbrave is dumbfounded by this idea, wondering how a cookie could actually see the banana monkeys as family. However, Plantain says that it doesn't matter and he sees them as family regardless of what they look like. Which, honestly, is a pretty sweet message, I'm not gonna lie. This also makes me wonder who he is as a character and where he comes from. That's all of the story we got so far in the beta. Apparently we're gonna be heading to the next chapter where we have to face Shad Monkey? I do not know how to pronounce this, I am so sorry. Now I'm gonna leave it at that and talk about other aspects about Plantain Cookie that I like. I love how Plantain's weapon is a boomerang. I have never seen that before and it looks pretty cool. I have never seen any other cookie have a boomerang as a weapon. I mean, we have like, what, 3 archers? And so many cookies wielding swords, including the next one we're talking about, but I'll talk about her later. And the last thing I want to talk about is his card. I just really like it. Bro's just eating a banana and vibing with birds. What a life. Now let's talk about the next cookie. Out of all the cookies that I want to play during the beta, Cream Soda was easily number 1. I mean, there's so much to talk about her and we don't even know much about her. Where to begin? Oh, I gotta talk about her hair. Let me talk about her hair real quick. I don't know who designed her, but she is fucking pretty. And also making her hair literal soda is very creative. Hell, even in her 3D model, you could see the carbonation in it. You have no idea how happy this makes me. And as an artist, I find drawing her hair really fun, which is something I can't say for any cookie for that matter. Sometimes I really do not like drawing the different colors for Sugar Glass's hair, the little stripes and carols, macarons. You don't know how annoying those things are. And every time I try drawing Moonlight's hair, I want to jump off a fucking bridge. But weirdly enough, Cream Soda is the only cookie who I really enjoyed drawing her hair. That is insane. Maybe it's because I get to draw fun bubbles in her hair. And also her hair doesn't have a solid form given it's a liquid, so that's cool. And in case you haven't noticed, she does look pretty similar to another cookie who has water hair. Yeah, she looks like Sea Fairy. And I'm not the only one who noticed it. I mean, just look at them side by side. Blue hair, has something on their hat, wears dresses, have swords. They both have similar eyes and similar dough colors. I wouldn't be surprised if Cream Soda is related to Sea Fairy in some way, whether it's biological or not. Now let's talk about her character, because Death Sisters actually teased some interesting information about her in her video. Cream Soda is from the Royal Cookie Academy, where she is the president of the student council. What is the Royal Academy, I hear you say? Well, I don't know. Academy is usually different from schools, where it mostly focuses on one particular subject or puts emphasis on that subject. From this, we can assume that the Royal Cookie Academy has 2 primary focuses. It emphasizes on royalty or any student of high class, which I'm starting to notice a pattern here with all these bitches. Or it focuses on combat. I say that because she wields a goddamn sword. Aside from that, we don't know anything about the school or the student council where she's the president of. Although I can say something about her character. One thing that's interesting is that it seems like a lot of cookies have underestimated Cream Soda because she says this dialogue. I find it a pretty interesting idea to play around with. Even though we don't know how Cream Soda feels about this, I wouldn't be surprised if she uses it to her advantage. It doesn't help with the fact that Cream Soda has the ability to manipulate water, and it also looks like she has the ability not to get soggy when she's submerged underwater. I mean, she literally jumps out of the water in her gacha animation, so it's safe to say she won't be getting soggy, unlike her opponents. Oh yeah, let me talk about her card. I like how pretty it is. It's by far my favorite card. It seems like she has won a competition of some sort, and it was pretty intense because of the sweat on her face. And that's about it. I just really like it because it's really fucking pretty. I guess that's all I have to say about Cream Soda. And it looks like I have done all the Toa cookies. Wait, there's one more? Oh, Sting Durian, you cheeky bastard! You sneaky little gremlin! You came out of nowhere. No, because the moment Dev Sisters dropped this, I have never speedrun to draw Cookie before. Honestly, there's not much to say about Sting Durian Cookie since, again, he came out of nowhere. Sting Durian seems to be a range cookie, which I'll happily accept because again, they're my type of cookies. I like his design. It's pretty neat. Also, he's canonically stinky. which makes sense because durians in general are stinky. Oh yeah, speaking of durians, I find it odd that Tower of Adventures is the first one to make a durian cookie and not Kingdom, especially with how prevalent durians are in that game. I don't know, I just find it funny. Okay, those are all of the cookies that are exclusive to Toa. Before I move on to the next section, how about I talk about some of the cookies I would like to see in Toa? Okay, let's jump right into it. Sugar Glass and Amber Sugar. No, I did not pick them because I love them very dearly. I picked them because of the Glass Labyrinth. Come on, this place reeks of Sugar Glass. And I know someone's gonna be asking me about Amber Sugar and, well, come on, you cannot separate the Amber Glass. Not even Kingdom had the balls to do it. Anyways, Amber Sugar no doubt would be a striker. Sugar Glass is a bit more complex. Personally, it makes sense for her to be a support, but I think it would be pretty cool for her to be a range. She literally has the ability to manipulate glass. Do you not know how painful glass is if you step on it? And also, we've seen Sugar Glass use her powers in a defensive way. It just makes sense for her to be an attacker rather than a supporter. Like, I don't even think Sugar Glass herself realizes how powerful she is. For fuck's sake, she's created by the wizards. You know, the bitches who made these motherfuckers. I highly doubt that Sugar Glass would have been defenseless. Rant aside, for element, it makes sense for Amber Sugar to be fire or light, and Sugar Glass to be water or dark. It just makes sense, especially since they're polar opposites. I am restraining myself because if I don't, I will be going on a long tangent on why these two are opposites. Can you tell I really love these two? Anyways, let's move on to the next cookie. I would like to see Cream Puff Cookie, mainly because I just love her in general. The one thing you need to know about Cream Puff is that Cream Puff doesn't always look like this. She looked like this before she entered Kingdom. So I want to propose an idea for Cream Puff Cookie. When you first get her, she looks like this. However, when you unlock her ultimate, one magical girl transformation sequence later, her design changes to the Cream Puff we all know and love. Since magic isn't in Toa, I think she will be a range, and for element, definitely light. Another cookie I'd love to see is Strawberry Crepe. I mean, if they are able to get into Witch's Castle, then I think it'll be fine to put them in Toa. No doubt about it, I think Crepe would be a striker. They seem like the type of cookie who would punch the shit out of everyone. And for element, I would say Earth. This one goes to my friend Ember. Moon Rabbit would easily be a striker Earth cookie, no questions asked. Even Micmac said that Moon Rabbit could be fun. Honestly, I just love the idea of a rabbit just stomping on her enemies. That sounds very fun. Also, another cookie that was mentioned in that same livestream was Carol Cookie. And yeah, I would love to see Carol in Toa. Another friend of mine, Zelos, actually requested Timekeeper. However, it's under the condition that Timekeeper comes to Toa first, then Kingdom. Yeah, we just want to piss off the Kingdom players. And the crazy thing is, adding Timekeeper to Toa wouldn't be far-fetched. One of the clothing items you can collect is literally based around the TBD. Looks like Timekeeper strikes yet again. There's no other cookies I can say other than any of the line cookies. I feel like they'll make great additions to Toa. You know what? Fuck it. Rebel Cookie should be in Toa. Fuck you, Kingdom players. You know what you did. Now it looks like I finally got rid of all the informational stuff out of the way. How about I talk about my personal experiences with the beta? Personally, I really enjoyed the beta. It was really fun for me. I'm sure not everyone had the same experience as me, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. The gameplay was fun, the characters were endearing, the challenges were hard, yet so fun. The one thing that I really did wish happened is that some of my friends were able to get in the beta. Honestly, it would be so much fun if I played the beta with some friends. However, I still find enjoyment by playing by myself. Eventually, when I did find out a mutual of mine got into the beta, I had so much fun playing with them. Just look at us go! Here's a clip of my friend getting stuck behind a fence. Here's a clip of me being stuck in literally nothing while my friend does a little dance. Look at how cool we are. And here's another clip of us being very cool. When the final game comes out, I know definitely that I'll be playing with some friends. I hope there won't be any bugs or glitches in the final game because oh boy, there were a lot in multiplayer. Hell, even when I was playing by myself, I still found ways to get stuck. Especially here. You have no idea how long this battle took. So when I got stuck underneath the platform, I basically screamed. Also, let me tell you about the story that happened in Raid. So I was, of course, my beloved Lemon Zest, and I was in a party of 4, and one of these members happens to be a Rye player. You wanna know what this player did? They literally ran around like an idiot. They were basically being a coward while I was over here carrying the whole team. Literally, I'm not joking. That was probably the best I ever did in a raid. Once the boss was defeated, we got our rewards, and the Rye player got Lemon Zest's bow. Let me repeat myself. The Rye player, who literally did nothing but run around and ran away like a coward, got the fucking bow, while I got a rare item, despite me literally carrying the fucking team. I'm going to stop talking about this before I start screaming. Again, I'm still very thankful that they changed this. I do not want anyone to go through that experience. It is not fun. In fact, there might be a lot of changes from the beta in the final game. I'm not sure what things are changing, however, I do know what's going to be added. 1. Apparently it's been confirmed that there is going to be a guild. 2. Mileage. Mileage will be in the game, so that's epic. Although in the beta, mileage was actually in there, but there was no shop for it, so maybe Champions Raid will be accessible. I know that's gonna be one thing. And probably more that I'm not thinking. Hell, there might be more game modes and cookies that weren't even shown. Anyways, let me talk about the worlds. There are 4 worlds to explore in the beta, those being the Jelly Jelly Forest, 2 of the caves, and 1 of the Banana Jungle. The first floor was relatively simple, nothing too fancy. The second one wasn't too hard either. The third one, fuck you lasers, I hate these fucking lasers, oh my god. The fourth level, honestly it was really difficult in a fun way. That was the first chapter that made me sat down and think of a strategy in order to complete the level. My biggest strategy was any healer monkeys I see, it's on sight. I hate those motherfuckers so much, you have no idea. The bosses were pretty fun. The flowers were fun. The bat was fun. The bootleg sugar glass pet made me rage, but it was fun once I figured it out. And the banana Kong was not too hard. No, seriously, the bootleg sugar glass pet was more harder than this. Also, I forgot to mention this. One complaint I do have is that the cookies are very slow. Even Lemon Zest, for someone who claims is always swift, he's surprisingly very slow. Honestly, I feel like there should be a way to improve the speed of your cookies instead of making them very, very fucking slow. Especially when there's a time limit. The Glass Labyrinth was also pretty fun. Nothing really much to say about it. The seasoning dungeons are also pretty alright. I like the bees and the hamsters. However, the mines was a bit more challenging. One more thing I should mention is the gacha. The gacha had the cards and the cookies mixed together, and I'll be honest, it is way better than Witch's Castle's gacha. For one, there's no soul stones, and that made it so much easier to get the cookies. Personally, I didn't mind it. Regardless, they decided to change it so the gachas are separate. This was sent in a live stream talking about the changes since the beta. Oh yeah, how about we talk about that? This livestream is a gold mine of stuff, but the main 3 things you need to know about is you are allowed to bring 3 cookies in each adventure, able to lock the cookie's ability at 1-star promotion, and the cookie and card gachas are separate. However, there are a bunch of other things that I took notes of. Literally, after my government EOC was over, we were allowed to have our phones, so basically I just sat down, watched the live stream, and took notes. I watch these live streams so you don't have to. Guild will be added, and I'm not sure how they're gonna implement it, but for the love of God, do not be like Witch's Castle. Seriously, that thing does absolutely nothing. Legendaries will be added, but not now. There is no magic candy. The game was never intended for PvP, and if they're ever gonna add PvP, there are gonna be a lot of changes to literally almost everything about the cookies. So I think it's best if we don't have PvP for now. But do not worry, competition is still here, just not PvP. The mileage system will be added. Story mode, you're only allowed to play with 2 players, not 3 or 4. God damn it. It's still unknown whether or not cookie trials will make a return. We can now give Dark Choco a hug. Yes, you heard me right. Dark Choco can be hugged. Go hug him right now. There will be new game modes added soon. And lastly, costumes will be added, but not now. One final thing I will say is that Big Mac says that the game will be updated frequently, however, it won't have as many grand updates as, say, Kingdom. Personally, I will take it. I'm sick of these grand updates. And that's everything in my list. There's nothing else I can say, so I guess we're moving on to my closing thoughts. I am truly honored to be a beta tester for the game. I never had this much fun playing a cookie run game, and I really do hope Tower of Adventures is able to succeed pretty well, unlike Witch's Castle. I truly am excited to play this game with my friends, and also get to know the cookies exclusive to this game. I really do hope this video convinced you to pre-register since it's still going on, and I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to check it out. I'm not sponsored by Dev Sisters, I just really love the game. In case you're wondering, the game comes out June 25th or 26th depending on where you live. And to anyone who made it this far into the video, wow.
Thank you, it means a lot. I didn't think anyone would listen to me ramble about Toa for so long. I am very passionate about this game, and it was really fun to make this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Well, I'm heading off to the train station. Thank you for watching the video. See you next time.